I'm Ariana. Nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet you.
Why did you decide to tell this story about these two girls and their relationship through one of the characters' son as kind of the guide through the story?
Yeah, no. I guess for me, I really resonate with Sam, the son. I think his outlook of just being like a hopeless romantic. And I wanted the film to feel really sweet and cute in a way that was like made sense and didn't feel cheesy. And I felt like telling it through a 14-year-old boy's perspective who is just a hopeless romantic. His parents just got divorced. Like I felt like that was the appropriate way to tell a very, very wholesome love story that didn't feel too cheesy. And that's honestly, that was the intention.
Yeah. And for each of you, would you say that you identify with Hayden or Casey more?
I feel like I want to be Hayden, but I'm Casey. Like I want to be as cool. I mean, Ciara and Casey is cool, but like Hayden and Ava just there's like this charm that I want, but I definitely think
she has a certain level of confidence that I think is hard to just have naturally. That I think Ava's able to encapsulate pretty well. But I think same answer. I am Ciara's character, but I would like to be.
Yes.
I was talking to Ava and Ciara, and they said that Elle, you kind of wrote the roles with them in mind. What kind of made you think, okay, this is each of their characters?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it, I had like the kind of the plot in mind. And when it came to like really forming who these characters are, I think like I'm a planner, I'm a prepper. And I, especially with this being my first writing, directing thing, my first film, I think I needed to have characters in mind. And I had been friends with Ava for a couple of years, and I always thought Ava was like, she's like the coolest person ever and just so charming in a warm way. And that was honestly my intention with everyone I casted, was these people I've met throughout my life, because I met Ciara like through a mutual friend at like a party once. I was like, they had such a charm to them, but in a very warm and non-intimidating way. So that was my intention, and they're just also super talented. And I knew I was like, I don't know, I was a little insecure with my writing, especially because it's my first time writing something. So I really wanted to make sure I had like talented actors to like really help me bring it to life. And so, yeah, I feel like they just encapsulate what the film is. And I'm so glad that they gave these characters a heartbeat, to be honest. So.
Yeah. And what was kind of each of your mindset when you were graduating high school, like that summer before adulthood in a way?
For me, it was like what Casey was experiencing. I think I had definitely a little crisis. I was not very happy with. I was going to university for business, and I was like, I had a really good high school experience, and so I was like, I felt the rest of my life felt very daunting, and I felt really closed in. And I think I had like a very much a realization moment of like, I want to, I'm not going to let, my future is up to me. So I kind of switched things up and started getting to the creative stuff and doing YouTube. And so, yeah, that summer was very a pivot point in my life.
Yeah, mine was kind of weird. I spent my senior year of school in LA already kind of doing what I wanted to be doing full time. But I think that summer before, I had visited LA and I had lived with a friend, and it was very much kind of this like preview of what my life could and what I would want it to be. So when I had returned home to start senior year back in New Jersey, it was a little bit disappointing and not what I wanted. And so I really, really just wanted to go back to LA, and I did everything in my power to make that happen. And it took a month, but I was back out in LA by October and never looked back.
Kind of the reverse culture shock of going back to your hometown.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to set the story in 2006?
Oh, I mean, for me, the 2000s, the early 2000s, mid 2000s is like kind of like my personality trait. I love that era. I feel like for me, like that, I find such a comfort in like the pop culture in that time. Like 2000s teen movies are like my comfort movies, because It was like when times were simple and, you know, just reminds me of my childhood. And so I, you know, growing up loving 2000s teen movies in specific, I wanted to make a queer one in that era because it's like fulfilling this childhood dream of mine. So yeah, just to make, it was truly to make the film I wish I had growing up.
Oh, that's nice. What would you say was your favorite 2000 teens movie for each of you?
Ooh,
just one for today.
One. Okay, I think my guilty pleasure is John Tucker Must Die. It's not like the best film, but John Tucker Must Die is
I've heard that from so many people though.
Yeah, it's so good. It has 2 of the All American Rejects songs, and I think that's a staple in any 2000s teen movie. So
I feel like I know the 80s and 90s teen movies so much more.
I feel like you can.
So
you can name one.
Yeah, you can name one.
Like, I mean, Say Anything is like the absolute most perfect, beautiful masterpiece of teen, you know, coming of age films. So that's the one I always look to.
Good one.
And I think, yeah.
Mine is Clueless. Is
yeah.
experience, really even though I don't live in Beverly Hills. Why did you decide to leave the ending open-ended without giving anything away, obviously?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I love films that that end off in a way that make me think. Like I'm like, it's like leaving it, like wanting a little bit more. Didn't want to leave it too much, but hopefully it ended on a good medium. But yeah, I think like just even also the medium of how this like it's through this perspective as if Sam the son made this film, so it's like he wouldn't even be able to see like past that. So that was part of it, but I just love a good cliffhanger. So
yeah. And what is kind of the biggest challenge in making a short film? Because you have to tell a pretty captivating story in about 17 minutes.
I think for me, like it was interesting because I feel like I was used to telling short stories and short films with my experience on YouTube. And I think that was kind of my bread and butter, was telling a story in a short amount of time. So that was kind of, I think, the easier part of it. I think the funding and like the actual having a crew and all that, that was the tricky part for me, but that's where Michael came in, and he like just like, because he's been doing it for years before I did it, and it just having him by my side and like having someone who knows what's going on and being able to ask and as many dumb questions as possible and with no judgment, that made it a lot easier. But all Michael.
It's just I think short films are very interesting. I mean, yeah, the funding and all that stuff is obviously the worst part, especially with short films, because in most cases you're not really making the money back. But I think, yeah, it is. I think everyone in this town that works in any sort of film want to be a part of a narrative film in any way, whether it's a feature or a short film or a television show. I think narrative is kind of where everybody wants to end up and be. So crew is always willing and ready and wanting to be there, and I think that that's a huge thing. But I think in terms of story, it really comes down to efficiency and usage of locations and your time and how quickly you can get these characters set up. I think Elle did a really great job in this film, particularly because, you know, we had these montages at the beginning of the film, these home video, you know, kind of vibes that set up so much of who they were and what was going on currently in their lives, and then, you know, we screech to a halt and the story begins. So yeah.
Cool. Without giving it away, even though it's open-ended, do you kind of have your own ending in your head, each of you?
I feel like I feel like a year ago, why I kind of wanted to keep it open-ended is because I feel like it says how you think it ends. It says what you think about love, maybe. Like it's like do you believe in true love or do you not? Like, do you believe in, like, I don't know, because it could, I don't know. I think right now,
I always imagined that Hayden responded.
I do think Hayden responded
in a good way. I always know
yeah.
since the
But then it's like
beginning
and then it's the other factor of me being really realistic here. I'm like, okay, what's Casey's vibe? Like what's what's Casey's up to? Because yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know. I do think optimistically about the ending.
I just imagine them in their early 40s, like it's kind of like huge.
I think they definitely met up.
Yeah, like meet up. Yeah.
This is a huge spoiler, by the way. This is a huge spoiler, but like I do definitely think that they like reconnected and just caught up. Where it goes after that, I'm not too sure. But
awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Congrats on this project, and looking forward to talking to you, both of you, about future ones.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. No problem.